Want to remind people, please support the poets. They have books. Sharon, you brought some books, right?
Yeah.
And Shetty has books. Okay, let's go into our open mic. I want to remind you too, next month, February 2nd, May 2nd, what am I saying? I'm in another dimension. I've been transformed by poetry. May 2nd, first Wednesday, we're going to be doing our open mic as a floricanto, flower and song, as Ms. Wakoyotl, Nahuatl poet said, the only thing human beings leave behind in the world after they have passed are their flowers and their songs, which is a word for saying, a way of saying poetry, their flowers and songs. So, May 2nd, invite you all back, 6 to 8, we'll be featuring a couple of friends and students of a dear poet who passed a couple of years ago, Alfred Arteaga, was a professor at UC Berkeley, some of you are from, so we'll be honoring him on his birthday, May 2nd, our Floricanto, so come, Alley Cat Poets in the Mission. Friday, this Friday, I will be reading and presenting a panel at UC Berkeley commemorating 40 years, 50 years, no? Of Quinto Sol, 40 years of Quinto Sol Press, the first Chicano press ever that first published Rudolfo Anaya, Tomas Rivera, and on and on and on. And several anthologies and whatnot started out at UC Berkeley. So at 4:30 I'll be on a panel with some other writers, including Ali Rista, seminal Chicano poet, Lucha Corpi from Oakland, wonderful poet and fiction writer, and others. So that'll be all day at UC Berkeley, reading Floricanto at 7 o'clock. Also, UC Berkeley campus. After that, or during around the same time, we're having the Lunada. Every full moon, they have a Chicano Latino reading here across the street, down the street, at the Galeria de la Raza. Javier Huerta is going to be the featured, one of the featured readers, along with another one, and he will also be a featured reader, former student of Alfred Arteaga and our Alley Cat Poets in the Mission Floricanto, May 2nd. Okay. First up, we have Dee Allen. D-A-R-N, sorry. Interesting name here.
I'm only going to do one poem for tonight. This is a new one called Hoodie. Normally, whenever fog rolls in from the bay, it devours the city whole. A sudden temperature drop, everything turns gray. Vibrant colors fade inside a cloudy, frigid mass. That's the time I reach for my hoodie, sliding it on one sleeve at a time, and finally the cowl, covering my bald head in warmth, fastening up the zipper. Today I wear my hoodie for a different reason. I'm in mourning for a boy I never met. He wore a hoodie too, for the last time. The watchman's pistol, hot from firing, the watchman's mouth, dry from lying, cast himself in the role of a victim, screaming self-defense in the faces of cops. No charges. Moments after, premeditated chase and attack. Moments after, tuning out words of warning from the police, telling them to stand down more than once. Yes, the watchman's protected his block from an apparent threat to him. A wandering boy armed with a cell phone and a bag of Skittles. The watchman's gun, when drawn, is also a blade, able to cut an average human lifespan down to 17 years. Yes, the watchman stood his ground, as Florida law suggested, making walled Twin Lakes safe for white privilege. One black father loses a hero. One black mother has an empty bedroom where her son used to be. One black family moves to defend one of theirs from double murder. First by the watchman, now by the press. First his body, now his rep. The American South has no respect for black life. Today, I wear my hoodie because I'm in mourning for a boy I never met. He wore a hoodie too, for the last time. That was a new poem called Hoodie, written in memory of Trayvon Martin, 1995 to 2012. Rest in peace. I'm Dee Allen, you're the crowd. Thanks for listening.
Barbara Saunders.
I've got two very short ones, one that's a little upbeat and one that's a more somber. Second helping on Sunday. A gulp of hot joe, just so, and a smooth, plump sausage get the morning off to the right start. I taste the sweet cream on my tongue, drag a finger across the plate, lick it clean. The salt is bliss. Fill my cup again. Before I sip, I'll pause, let the steam stroke my cheeks. Load up my plate. I'll stop to give thanks for the grace of abundant meat. The second one's called Where I Came From. My grandmother had soiled herself, and the nurse was wiping her when I arrived. I backed out of the room, waited in the visitor's lounge, and watched soap operas until the washing was done. The sight of her naked body startled me. The ground I traveled to get here, a patch of brown earth with the water drained out, the wind carrying it away.
Next poet was our featured poet, starting off this series, along with me, Lorna D. Cervantes, Jim Powell.
I have 162 syllables for you about small winged creatures. The first is a haiku, so it's 17 of those syllables. It's called Haiku Pas de Deux. Hummingbird, your wings dice microseconds at the verge of sight. I soar. And the second one is called The Mask. I read this yesterday and did, for the first time, this is about 5 days old, and I did a poor job of it yesterday. I'm trying to do it a little better now. The Mask. At sunrise, dragonflies kiss the surface of the lake, awake. Interlace, on patrol, true to roll, no swerve, random, pairs, flip, tandem, somersaults, mid-soar. One halts at water's edge, above sedge, and hovers. The face is blue and sorry, the goggle eyes gaze back. And the third one is called One Sock On, One Sock Off. On this cold threshold, camped, cramped, stiff and sore, at your door, here I lie, no reply. Not abject, not broken, dreaming, yes, for real, eyes open, stone on pure hope's elixir, centered, aligned, climbing blind, hummingbird, half assured, dragonfly darting by, river otter's daughter, quicksilver through still water. Susie, now methinks thou art heart sphinx.
Next, Aracely, Mondragon.
So I'm one of Shelley's students, and I think I'll read 4 pieces, 2 in English, 2 in Spanish, and they'll give you a pretty good idea of who I am. There are moments in your life that you remember with painful precision, moments that define you. My parents' life is full of images and sounds, memories seeped into my skin, engraved in my heart. And if you look closely, you can see them in my eyes and hear them in my voice. For on my skin are the bruises of violence, the uninvited hands that forced her to flee. Inside me is the pang of hunger, 13 brothers and sisters, dry land that drove them across in search of something better. On my skin is 20 years of labor, stretched skin, the birth of 2 daughters, and the burn of cleaning products used to scrub foreign floors. On my brow is the shock of betrayal, hundreds of dollars pocketed by the hands of a corrupt lawyer. On me lands the accusatory finger, pointed at them like a gun. On my wrists are the imprints of handcuffs clutched around him, labeled a criminal. In my voice is the sound of panic, in my sister's screams that pierce the sterile air, the sound of forced composure in his voice, breaking through her sobs, the sound of an unsympathizing America that told us to calm down, and please don't block the hallway. In my eyes is the disorientation of an 18-year-old whose age declared her as my new mother and my new father. In my eyes is the wariness of those eyes that fell asleep at the wheel coming home from a third job. In my eyes is the disillusionment of an American dream deferred. In my empty hands are the frustration of unpaid bills. On my neck is the shadow of his wedding band that I kept safe, fearful it may never be worn around his finger again. In my chest, the agony of nightmares of his dead body lying limp in a ditch, somewhere in the vastness between Mexico and the US, robbed of everything, including his breath. In my legs, the feel of lead, of worn knees that couldn't possibly walk for so many miles. In my limbs, the crampness of being smuggled in a stereo box, in the trunk of a car, every part of her bent but her spirit. But after 4 months of their absence, in my hands are the presence of hers, squeezing mine, telling me things were getting better. In my arms, the comfort and love of friends. In my chest, the rising hope of possibility. In my voice, the sound of his unwavering strength. In my brow, the determination of one who has been beaten to the ground and stood back up. In my eyes, the knowledge that apathy is not the answer, and the power of living the answer. On my brown skin is engraved the story of 2 undocumented parents and the answer to our struggle. And it is change that begins with me. These last few are a little shorter. For a while, I was intoxicated with my own pain. A void, because I had used up all the words I could possibly use, romanticized them until they were all dried up. But now, I'm done dressing up my cuts. They heal best in the open. So now, I wear my scars out. My festering wounds oozing, skin stained in scarlet. Does it cause you discomfort? Well, I refuse to hide them, for the sake of your stomach. I need the face more than you do. I've been drowning for a while, but Pretend doesn't live here anymore. She left and took all her costumes with her. The ball gown with the smudge on the back, the pretty silk scarves that covered the self-inflicted bruises. No, now it's just me and my hurt, me and my washed out jeans, me and my t-shirts I tore myself, me with no cover up on, me and my raw flesh, me and all my humanness. Que no me das presencia, hombre que me derrumba de mi altar para abajo, presión que me jala, tornillo que se mete más y más para adentro, sin pedir permiso, ruptura que me deja fría, estoy helada y no te importa que yo esté tirada, pero mi ser no es de alfombra, yo soy hija de Ichel, yo conozco a la luna, luz que a mi alma me llama, no más, basta ya. Este cuerpo es mío, solo mío, manos sobre mi piel que sanan, me sanan, adiós a los de pie. Yo tengo un conocimiento y me voy, ya me voy, para reunirme con mi amor, luna que me completa. This one I actually wrote pretty recently. So I have this tendency of walking. I walk with my hands crossed in front of me and kind of like looking down. And I'm sure there's a lot of reasons why, but I was walking down the hall and I saw another young Chicana walking the same way. And I just thought to myself, I know that walk. So out of that came this. Yo conozco esa caminada, brazos cruzados, cargando esos pechos maternos que en tu boca puedo ver, el temblor de sus gritos callados. Sorry, I need to repeat that one. Yo conozco esa caminada, brazos cruzados, cargando los pechos de tu madre, que en tus ojos veo reflejados los morados, verdes azules estrellados contra su piel morena, que en tu boca puedo ver el temblor de sus gritos callados. Ven hacia mí, niña, que yo conozco esa caminada. Ven, estira tus brazos. Deja el volcán que en tu pecho estalle. Dime a mí lo que mueres por reclamar. Dame a mí tus lágrimas cristalinas. Y en mí, caderas, desahógate. Ven hacia mí y ya verás que juntas nos libramos, mujer entre mujer. Thank you.
And last poet on the list, Evan Karp. Anyone else? Nope. Okay.
Hey everybody. This is called Page as Stage as Meadow What For. School of the arbitrary, soup of the sky. We could buy each other's books, bollocks. We could emulate the way the sun will navigate, false start, art. Fake onto stage, authentic, persistence. I would or I wouldn't cross this out. We could make legend this moment. This could inform the rest of it. Diaries from a first eye-opening, alone as their owners. Not one of us knowing anyone, not even handwriting. We could tattoo the whole evening, something to point to. That happened. Is it enough that we have the stage, a few dozen friends, and a language we all agree on? I don't mean to flip the rug under the furnace, not with Mom frosted. Every time we talk about this, the heat lamp stutters, and someone in the shadows, by the way, thinks they know the answer to Spotlight. Everybody look at me. Everybody look at the same thing. The TV ain't the sun, ain't no revolution. Meaning? Tip your bartender less. If we do all agree, to disagree we have to interact though. This civilization has no laws, but be here and help to define it. The stage. But all the writing you read is written in margins, by margins, for margins. If we all agree, if Santa Claus really is coming to town, springing forward and falling back with the rest of us, if we are laughing in a still frame, ha, 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 sharing words we laid out in our bedrooms and brought to this painting like bottles of wine to a potluck. When we bring this moment to hang on the confines of our future, will the words age likewise without us? Will our sons say yes to asparagus? Our daughters help them with homework? Fear will tear us apart if we do not murder in all of the cracks it now grows. Like an orgasm? Silly me. I smile silly, like an orgasm in reverse. Who said that? That is one of my friends. When the string started, and my eyes closed because I'm ready for transport, when the poem is done, and after I'm no longer excited about it, revision over, self-your fuck. As it is, more people like me than I could ever truly care about. But the show goes on, and there's always a tune you can hum. But you are used to revolution, the choice for the unknown. That's Stephen. And we are too precious to fail, too pure, too anything goes, too caught up with not being caught. Dear people, take a chance. Do something stupid. That feels good and lasts more than a fathom of hours. All you have to lose. Imaginary. We could freedom in a glass of wind. We could miss the moment. It's better to say the wrong thing every time, but it's your choice. Bring an ice blanket in case you get thirsty. Bring a bloodless tongue for the swap meat for that matter. You will want revolution. Madly as a despot from the people, you will see through your dependencies and be strong enough to choose something else tonight. You will do anything you don't say you will do. Prove me wrong. No, don't. Think about it. When the sheets dry up, that was a typo. When the streets dry up to a dead-end conclusion, tread lightly. Somebody lives here. Numberless, no address, no name, just a handful of minutes. So entertain the stranger before you. Tell the story of his or her clothing. Everything we wear someone found in the streets, but what we made in our bedrooms, we made it. We were made for the stage, despite our humility, despite our timidity, despite everything but a lack of cerebral rigidity. It's murder up here. It's just fear dying in our tongues live, but back to the poem. If it's fear you're after, if it's murder you seek, talk like an Egyptian. These are just the lean years. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for coming. Hope to see you next month. This concludes Alley Cat Poets in the Mission with Sherry Moraga and Sharon Diago.